things we can do. There's a lot that come to mind, but immediately is really holding a lot of the new leadership, so-called leadership, like in these neighborhood councils, and because we're being gentrified, it's mostly by new Anglo residents, and we're very blessed to have very solid white allies, you know, on our side. Ivy, Rick, Adam, and other folks in here I see, and but like people in the neighborhood council, I really don't think that they're. I think if we hold them to task on these principles of social justice or just ethics that they claim to be about, if we hold them to task on these things as far as the impact of a lot of their decisions, I think most of them will bend and make better decisions as far as neighborhood council, or whether it's Mike Bonin with his slick political game he has going on. And that's one thing. And also it's, another thing that comes to mind is doing more, I guess, I say creative events. Because we're so busy fighting, even to do this event too. We're fresh, I was telling someone, like, we're fresh off the battlefield. Someone had said, oh, how come there's not that many people here earlier? But I was like, dude, we're fresh off the battlefield. Like, we are battling every day. And just in this last month, we got off like 3 hearings, lawsuits, you know, city hearings, shenanigans, dealing with the most, you know, powerful local, I would say, political crime bosses. I'll call them that, you know, and so we're fresh off the battles with that too. So the more we can have events like Venice Lives, we had last April, I think it was, or May, we had that event. The more events like this where we can educate and give people space, but to be creative and where we're not always fighting. We have to fight no matter what, as we can see as the histories you've heard already. We can't let go of, we can't put down our shield at any point in time, you know. But we definitely need to find room to have newer generations and other people come in and be creative and have these spaces where we can dance and have fun and do things of that nature. Because the more we hold space in that good way, the more I feel that energy and that spirit will help. One, it'll lift us, it'll re-energize us on our fight. At the same time, it'll push away anything that's contrary to that unity and that you know, that positivity.
So we should not have had to fight to get this space today. We should not have had to prove to the library that we weren't going to be in here advocating violence and promoting Ku Klux Klan, whatever. You know, that should not. We should not have had to spend 3 or 4 days or a week convincing the new librarian that it was okay for us to be here after we've been here for the last 4 years. And then to be relegated to just 3 hours, when in the past we've had at least 5 hours to have this exhibit. So we're going to fight to continue to have this again, so that we can do we can do a better promotion to get people in here. So another answer to your question is, we need to have people participating in the advocacy for social justice. We need to have people, like-minded people, serving on the Venice Neighborhood Council. When the Venice Neighborhood Council started, it was called the Grassroots Venice Neighborhood Council. And I was a part of that group. We had districts at that time. We had 7 districts, so that the Venice community was divided up in districts. And each district had a representative, and I was representative for the Oakwood community. It was District 7. And then for the second time around for the elections, we had Didi Audit was the president, and I was the vice president, or Yolanda Gonzalez was one of the officers. And we really were more a representative group of the entire Venice community. And now it is largely developers and people that are focused on tearing down and building single-family residence and owning Venice in a way that it was never owned in the past. So if we can get people to unify as a part of a larger group, to also serve on committees like the Venice Neighborhood Council, on the Land Use and Planning Committee, which is a big committee of the Venice Neighborhood Council, where they go to rig their permission for building this housing development that they do and for other purposes, but we need a wider array, a larger band of supporters to fight the fight for justice and diversity in the Venice community.
That's true, because we are not really represented
Right.
with the neighborhood council, and like Naomi said, the first one really did cover, and you know, we felt we were representative, but now it's people that are not really for us. It's all about money, and that's not right.
And they've changed the rules. We used to have stakeholders that could come and vote. The stakeholders included people who attended church here, people who worked here, who owned homes or who were renters here, and also business owners.
And homeless folks who worked at St. Joseph's.
Right, exactly. As long as you could show residency or an affiliation. And now it's been restricted to people who work here, so the big companies like Google and Snapchat. That might be really appropriate.
Sounds appropriate to me.
That they get their employees to come and vote.
Right.
And that's the end of it. You know,
Yeah.
they do it to get the numbers, and then the community is really not
We
represented
suffer.
on the neighborhood council. So we need more participation in that way. So I'd like to hear from some of you in terms of what you would like to see and how you think you might be able to help, or what you think we should be doing to kind of get greater participation in what your issues are.